Committed to reaching out and responding to the unmet needs of those with severe and profound disabilities and their families, St. Joseph Home of Cincinnati celebrates its 135th year of serving the community. 135 years of providing compassionate care and respect for the dignity of life. It's been quite a journey. Confronted with inadequate facilities in the care for unwanted babies, Sister Anthony O'Connell, one of the founders of Sisters of Charity of Cincinnati, determined she would find a way to provide a shelter for these infants. In 1873, thanks to the kindness of Joseph C. Butler, who donated the building, the Sisters of Charity in Cincinnati established St. Joseph Infant Asylum in Norwood. The infant asylum, originally associated with Good Samaritan Hospital, served as a maternity home for young unwed mothers and a home for foundling infants. In 1875, under the leadership of Sister Cecilia Griffin, St. Joseph Home became an independent institution. Services were expanded, and new buildings such as a hospital, a sisters' building, and a chapel were added in 1884. When Sister Agnes Regina Brown took over in 1885, one of her duties was to inspect the yard before bedtime each evening to search for abandoned infants left on doorsteps or in the hedges. During her tenure, additional land for the facility was purchased and additional buildings were added. The asylum was officially named St. Joseph Maternity Hospital and Infant Home in the 1930s. Archives reveal that the mission of St. Joseph's at this time was to provide a home for children who were homeless, illegitimate, or from broken homes caused by parental death, divorce, or legal issues. Despite building additions, the home had to institute an age limit of 4 due to overcrowding. In the 1950s, Nancy Eilendorf met with the home's administrator, Sister Marie Agnes Bonanno, about starting a ladies' guild. The guild's sole purpose would be to support the services offered by the home. Over the next 40-plus years, as a result of their card parties, boutiques, raffles, and fashion shows, the guild raised well over $100,000 for the home. An on-campus high school program was started in 1965. Unwed mothers could continue their education and receive credits through Seton or Princeton High School. After nearly a century of service in the Norwood neighborhood, the buildings of St. Joseph Infant Home were sadly out of date and quickly becoming unusable. In 1965, Administrator Sister Ellen Joseph Walsh announced the purchase of the 20-acre Barrow Farm on Wisecarver Road in Sharonville. Work began on the new home on March 30th, 1966. The new location would accommodate 40 unwed mothers, a clinic, high school, nursery buildings for 60 babies, a convent, chapel, office, and kitchens. St. Joseph Infant and Maternity Home moved to its new location on September 23, 1967. By the mid-70s, it became apparent that the focus of the infant and children's program needed to change. Several babies with multiple mental and motor disabilities had been placed in our infant program, and because of their high level of medical needs, they were not able to be placed for adoption. Administrator Sister Mary Rita Veason recognized this as an unmet need in the community, a place to care for infants and children with profound mental retardation. At the same time, more and more young women served by the home were keeping their babies with help from their families. Though the maternity program would continue, in 1976, she directed the closing of the newborn nursery and the startup of the new program, Caring for Children with Severe and Profound Mental Retardation. 2 of the profoundly disabled children that were placed with us in the old infant program, Millie and Doug, transitioned into this new program and are still with us today. The program was licensed by the Ohio Department of Mental Retardation and by the end of 1976 was serving 26 children. We received certification for Medicaid funding in 1981. An administrator, Sister Rose Martin Morand, hired the home's first program director, who developed the habilitation department and individual programs for the 32 residents, which was our full capacity at the time. Sister Mary Ann Van Verst became the 24th administrator of the home in 1986. During her tenure, the home has gone through many significant changes and advancements. In 1989, the decision was made to close the maternity program. After 116 years, the need for the program was no longer as great as it once was. The primary mission of the home now became providing services for non-ambulatory individuals with severe and profound mental retardation. As the waiting list for services continued to grow, Sister Mary Ann felt that there was a great need to expand our program. She had to convince the state that we needed more licensed beds to meet the needs of individuals on our waiting list. The state was reluctant to give approval. In fact, they initially turned her down. But with her determination and the help of State Senators Richard Finan and Stanley Aronoff, approval for the home's expansion to 48 beds was finally realized. In 1990, Sister Mary Ann and the Board of Trustees launched the first capital fundraising campaign in the history of the home, raising over $6 million for the expansion and the creation of an endowment fund. The construction project was completed in 1991, increasing the number of buildings on site from 13 to 18, and the home went from 32 residents to our new capacity of 48. In the mid-1990s, the Ohio Department of Mental Retardation and Developmental Disabilities asked if we would consider starting a respite program. Never afraid of a challenge, Sister Mary Ann ventured into yet another building campaign. Once again, the effort was successful, raising over $3 million. Part of the money raised went to the establishment of a scholarship fund for those who would need services but might not have the resources to pay for them. The Harold C. Schott Respite Center was opened in September 1998. This center allowed us to reach out into the community and provide our services to more families who need them. The center began with 5 beds available for short-term stays of special needs individuals, providing their families a respite. Short stays ranged from just a few hours to several days, or even a couple of weeks to accommodate a family vacation. In our first full year of operation, the Respite Center had 16 guests with a total number of 52 visits. In this, our 10th year of offering respite services, we hosted 61 respite guests for a total of 396 visits, a true embodiment of the saying, "If you build it, they will come." The outpouring of appreciation for the Respite Center from families with special needs children has been overwhelming. Some recent comments include, "I am a single parent of a medically fragile daughter. If it was not possible for respite at St. Joseph Home, I would be in dire straits. My respite dates enable me to heal for our next challenge. I can't have my child without you." Another parent said, "I just want to say I thank God for a place like this. I don't feel so bad knowing my son will be well taken care of when I'm gone on vacation. Thank you all." It is obvious from accolades such as these that the Harold C. Schott Respite Center has benefited the lives of not only the children and young adults who have used the center, but the lives of entire families. During the 1998 building campaign, the home also built an education wing for residents who are too young or too medically fragile to go off campus and attend school at one of Hamilton County's special education schools. To address the needs of our growing and aging residents, in 2004, another major renovation occurred to modify all the cottages. Walls were taken down, and living areas were expanded into more of an open floor plan. The Respite Center was expanded to 8 beds. Seton Hall, our large gathering room, was expanded by 50% and enhanced with multimedia capabilities. In addition, therapy, office areas, a new employee break room, and the Van Verst boardroom were added. Besides the physical changes to our buildings and the group of people that we serve, other changes have also taken place in the home under Sister Mary Ann's leadership. Sister Lynn Heeper, who started with the home in 1989 as our Director of Nursing, thoroughly modernized this department. Sister Lynn has made changes in documentation and record keeping, and special attention was given to resident care plans and developing a policy and procedure manual. One of the more significant advancements was the admission of our first resident with a tracheotomy. Because of her guidance, the home now has the ability to provide a more involved level of care. Sister Lynn is now the assistant administrator of the home, overseeing all aspects of the daily operation, especially resident care and staffing issues. St. Joseph Home has a long history of compassionate care, and it is still alive and well today. Over our first 100 years, nearly 15,000 babies were received into our nurseries, and though records of unwed mothers are incomplete for the earliest years, from 1900 to 1976, the home served close to 10,000 young women. A total of 166 children and young adults have been served in the residential program for the severe and profound mentally and physically disabled since its inception. 2 of these children have been with us since 1975, the transition time from the old infant and maternity program, and are still with us today. We are blessed that with advances in medical science and with loving care, our residents are living longer than ever thought possible, and we are growing and adapting to their needs. We rejoice in the legacy left to us by Sister Anthony O'Connell and strive to live up to the ideals she and other Sisters of Charity have modeled for us of compassionate care for those in need.